You're watching the #1 college television station in the state of West Virginia, BCTV, Bethany College Television, the home of the Bison.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Bison Roundup. I am Carlo Guadagnino. Alongside me is A.J. Brettell, who actually has a birthday coming up on Tuesday, don't you, guy?
Yeah.
It's a good thing that your birthday wasn't last week, because it wasn't. Your Pitt Panthers did not give you a birthday gift.
Okay. If you want to get me a birthday present, lay off the Pitt jokes. And
tomorrow maybe. Hey, tomorrow I'm your guy. I got no Pitt jokes at all. Today until midnight, all the jokes in the world. Like. It's just a struggle out there. Yeah? I thought the Narduzzi phase, it was going to turn, and it just didn't happen.
So Bison, the Bison football team did win. The Bison won this week. You got my brain all scrambled now.
Well, the Bison, they did win, and they won very large, 58-26, largely from on the back of our guest, Jalen Holmes, who had he annihilated the record books. Didn't matter if it was a Bethany record or the President's Athletic Conference records. Kind of run down the stats for him and the rest of the offense, and then I'll get into more of the details of what he did.
I mean, all year I've been saying that this kid he's been on fire, he's feeling it, the confidence level's at an all-time high. He's just going out there, he's not thinking anymore, he's just out there to have a good time. Well, this was the game, kind of everything blended together. 26 carries, 341 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 records broken. And 3 out of the 4 touchdowns came from 49 yards or further out. So, I mean, it's just one of those games where, you wake up on the right side of the bed, you eat your Wheaties in the morning, and you go out and you just are remembered forever.
Well, he ate a whole heck of a lot of Wheaties.
You must have.
I was just going to say, I mean, he hurdled a guy, he scored 4 touchdowns, he ran for 341 yards, he broke a record that had been standing at Bethany since 1969.
I mean, that's an old record.
You can't really ask for a better day.
No, but I mean, as great as a game he had, Reyes also had himself a nice little game with 3 touchdowns, 206 yards. He did have an unfortunate interception that, kind of his fault, scrambling, trying to force a ball in, but he had a great game. Blinn, once again, broke record himself. He broke his own record from this past year. Yeah, and Blinn finished with 137 yards and a touchdown, which is just another walk in the park for him.
And then you had a couple other guys from that receiving core. I know Terry Linyard got himself a touchdown. I know Tyler Ambush got himself a touchdown on a reverse, I think. I think it was a rushing touchdown. He might have had a receiving touchdown as well. But it was just a game for the Bison on the offense. And they just picked up with playing Geneva, and as bad as I thought Geneva was. I mean, they didn't impress me at all. I thought that we should have won that game. We were expected to win that game. Bethany went in, and I mean, they handled them.
Yeah.
This week, it was kind of the same way. From looking at film and talking to some of the guys before the game started, I noticed that it was a relaxed feel. It wasn't so much it's not the W&Js of the conference. It's that part of the conference where Coach Garvey and the Bison have felt they've already left them behind. There's the bottom part of the conference. There's the top part of the conference. There's the middle part of the conference. Personally, I think Bethany sits in that top tier, top 3-4 teams. Whereas you have your Waynesburgs, your St. Vincent's that are now making that push into the middle. And then your Grove City, your Westminster, Teal, and Geneva kind of sit at the bottom.
Yeah. Like you were saying, it was really nice because a lot of the time people thought coming into the season, even at the beginning of the season, the defense was kind of the backbone of this team. And it kind of felt like the offense, they felt pressured by it because they thought, well, the defense is holding up fairly well. We got to put points on the board. We got to find a way. But now, I mean, after the Geneva game, after this past weekend, it seems like finally they're blending on both ends of the ball. Yeah. And it's been a lot because of the streak of 100-yard consecutive rushing games that Jalen Holmes had. Blinn and Reyes has been playing well.
Well, they're not only getting it done in the two conventional ways of the offense and the defensive side. The special teams are playing roles as well. You know, you had Blinn last week with the 85-yard touchdown return or a punt return for a touchdown. This week you had Blinn a couple times really set the Bison up in great field position. Terry set them up Linyard set them up in great field position. You have Fry averaging 41.7 yards a punt. It's not just coming at the beginning of the season. It was the offense was clicking one game, and then the defense was clicking one game, and you know Fry was doing his best to boot the heck out of the ball. Well, now it's you got the offense on the field. You really don't see Fry come out as much. How many times did he punt?
He punted only 3 times.
So 3 times in the whole game.
Yeah.
That he had to step on the field and punt. The Bison, other than the interception that Reyes threw, the Bison were 4 of 5 in their first 5 possessions, and all of those were trips to the end zone.
And
so everything's just starting to. It's a shame that it started to all come together at this point in the season and not maybe 2 weeks earlier. But great things to build on for next year. Great way to send the seniors out this year. You know they got a bye week this week. They're going to take a drive up to Latrobe and play St. Vincent at St. Vincent, who knocked Bethany off last year on Senior Day, St. Vincent's Senior Day. So it'll be a little bit of a we kind of want to get our shot back type mentality, I would assume. I know right now that's the farthest thought from everybody in Bethany football's mind. Get healthy.
Yeah.
It's the bye week. Enjoy. You know, don't do anything stupid. You just want to you just want to get your body back to where you were the second week, third week when you're first starting to feel that soreness.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about how Bethany's offense came out and they scored on 5 of their first 6 possessions or whatever. Grove City, I do believe it was their first possession that immediately got stopped on the goal line after trying to pound it in 4 straight plays.
4 straight times, and it was a 11 hats to the ball is what my high school coach used to say, and you saw that. Freeman, young corner, freshman corner, small guy. Comes flying in, bang, knocks the pile over. All that being said, you know, since we talked about football, we're going to have to get that guy and get this all set it up.
Yeah.
You know, get the guy on here, talk to him about his game insight, what he saw, what he's going to do with his free time. You're going to go do what you do, and then
we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back. So we'll be back after a few words on West Virginia's #1 college TV station, BCTV.
Hey, this job looks perfect. It says you need people skills?
Check.
Driver's license?
Check.
And a high school diploma. You got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that.
You are good to go.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bison Roundup. I am Carlo Guadagnino, now joined by Jalen Holmes. Jalen, thank you for joining me today. Well, first, congratulations. Obviously, today you were named PAC Player of the Week.
Thank you.
So, Offensive Player of the Week. On top of that, Jalen broke 4 records on Saturday, 1 conference record, 3 Bethany records, including rushing yards in a single game, single season touchdown, single season total yards. The rushing per game was both the PAC and a Bethany record. Let's jump right in. Let's talk about Saturday first. Just give me a recap. I mean, you guys, you seemed like you were feeling pretty loose.
I mean, our defense, they started off the game, so you kind of feed off that energy.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think our defense on every level, we have the best talent on the field. And then when you have that, it feeds over to the offense. And then the offense was clicking. We were feeling good, and we just kept going.
Well, now, this week and last week, kind of 2 big weeks for you, running-wise. Actually, the whole season's been a pretty big, continuous game for you running. It's gotten better throughout the season. Talk about having that offensive line finally healthy. You know, there was a week there where Norcus was out, and there was a week where Tim Walters was down, and then you had Barnes go down. Kind of talk about what it's like to run behind them now that it's back to being a healthy line, and kind of what they bring to the table.
Yeah, they helped me a lot to achieve breaking the records because without them, I wouldn't be able to do it. And you have Ethan, you have Alex, you have Tim, Scarborough, freshman. He stepped up, played a part. And then we have Bo Burtis. He's nice. That whole line, when you're running behind that and they open holes and you keep your eyes open, you're going to see a lot of cutbacks and you're going to gain yards.
Now, you and I have had a conversation before, not with a camera in front of us, obviously, but kind of give the viewers kind of what goes through Jalen's mind when you're running the ball.
When I run the ball, just don't get hit, you know, because there's 11 other guys trying to tackle you, and you don't want to get hit by them, so you just make ways to avoid it. Yeah.
Now, I got to ask you, Saturday, I think it was your first touchdown of the game. You had that, either a little, were you showing Coach Upton? Like, Coach signed me up for the hurdle team, or
no.
you saw an opportunity and took it kind of thing?
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Jalen's first touchdown was from 15 yards out, and I want to make sure I'm right on this. You started going to the right and then kind of bounced it back, not all the way to the left, but you didn't come all the way outside the hash mark. You kind of just bounced it back, saw a hole in the middle, and then that was it. You took off.
That was it.
And I think it was to safety and a linebacker that were coming kind of this way. They kind of cut in front of Jalen, and he walks into the end zone. Well, actually lands in the end zone, I guess I should say. Obviously not the year that you guys kind of expected at the beginning. Talk about kind of the trials and tribulations of the team and where you guys have kind of, like, the adversity that you've gotten over throughout the season.
Well, it's a disappointing season because last year we did good, and then this season we started out bad. You know, we lost to the teams that we beat last year, and close to the end of the year we had to get over that hump, like you said earlier, and we just need to show that we're not a bottom half of the conference team. We should be up, and now everything's starting to click together and the chemistry's starting to come together. And I just wish it was there at the beginning of the season. Well,
it's actually scary how good you guys are kind of – it's almost like a well-oiled machine. Like I said earlier in the show, the first 5 times you guys touched the ball, other than that first possession where you guys kind of had you were backed up all the way after that goal line stand, other than that interception, the next 5 times the offense came on the field, the offense put 6 points or more, well, 6 and then the extra point on the board. When you're running the ball, the shiftiness, you have that ability to be shifty. My thing is how W&J, for instance, at one point everybody went like this, and Jalen was in the middle of the pile, and everybody stopped, and Jalen was in the end zone. And you're trotting down like nobody in front of you. What goes through your mind when you got 3 or 4 guys coming down on you, and you they hit you, and then you see that light? How do you keep yourself up?
It's the off season is when you start to work, and that's when the work starts to show. And I worked all off season with a couple of my buddies back home, and doing that, it made my legs stronger, and I get more momentum and stamina, and I can get stronger as the game goes on. Whereas last year I was kind of out of breath easily.
So you're the way you've played this year is kind of just more work put in the off season that's kind of paying off now. You're not getting as tired. New quarterback, obviously. What have you seen from Lincoln this year? I mean, obviously he started a little slow, but he's really picked every game. I feel like I've seen a steady improvement from him.
Yeah, Lincoln, he improves. Like in practice, we're out there working, you know, it's cold now. Nobody really wants to be out there, but the people who want to be out there, you'll start to see because they work. Lincoln, he's a smart quarterback. Sometimes he makes, I mean, all quarterbacks make some mess up decisions. You know, he's starting to come together and he's starting to feed the ball around. And when you got a receiver like Eric Blinn, Tyler Ambush, Robbie Seaman, and Dom.
The unsung man on that. That's the best. I think that's the best blocking wide receiver we have.
The receivers, they also help me too.
Yeah.
As well as the tight ends. So I can't leave without giving them credit.
I need the football, Taylor. Can't just hold on to that. That's part of the show. Thank you. Well, we have a tradition here, and once at the end of this, I will give you a marker because I had one, but I dropped it, and you all saw that because it fell right into my lap. I went like this. But Jalen, kind of, what are you doing? What are you doing for break? I know you got the bye week going.
For break, you know, it's close to the end of the season. Your body's banged up. I'm just relaxing, getting some rest, staying off my feet. Probably take a couple ice baths, so I'm ready for the St. Vincent week.
Well, good luck going into St. Vincent.
Thank you.
Good luck next year.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. And now she's holding on for dear life. Her kids can see she may have broke her knees. They still love her though she looks like she's attacked by killer bees. I'm allergic. Proof you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
So I was wondering if after this,
young love.
maybe
So many complications, including others that may get in the way.
Who are you?
3 is definitely a crowd.
Terry told me.
And a play about your past relationship may not be the best way to win the girl.
Because
Best friends will fall apart to get what they want.
Ron kill Chuck. You mean Steve? Ron will kill Steve and Chuck, and he'll kill Bob too.
Up next, Missing Katarina.
Stop!
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. I'm Paul George. Learn the signs of a stroke fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Spot a stroke fast.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
The great outside.
We both love the outdoors.
It's so shiny.
That's not a flower. We both love geology.
Oh, look. An igneous one.
That's not a rock. And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
That's not a dog. Hanging out has been kind of fun.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
The odds of winning 7 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm Toni Braxton. Learn more at autismspeaks.org.
To Maddie.
Congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck, big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute. You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Good to have you back.
It's good to be back.
We want to say thank you to the Nugget, Jalen Holmes, stopping by, talking to us today. We really appreciate it, as we have with all of our guests. Before we wrap up this week's edition of Bison Roundup, I figured we'd talk a little bit about the PAC run that volleyball is going to have, and that we will probably be previewing next week, or reviewing next week, will be the PAC tournament. Women's soccer goes out with a bang for their senior day.
Yes.
And men's soccer, not what they expected, but still, a
Promising
lot of goals scored. He had a little guy get a header. I'm going to talk about that when you bring it up. Let's start with the men's soccer.
Okay.
Let's go in with that.
Yeah, the men's soccer, they dropped a high-scoring affair against Teal, 6-5. It basically, what it came down to was Teal had one guy who couldn't be marked, and he tallied 5 goals.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't see that in college very often. So
I don't even think Art did that when he was here.
Maybe once,
He might have scored against
once.
Penn State, New Kensington.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's, I was off campus, so I didn't see the game. But, a lot of my teammates told me it just was one guy who kind of dominated from the very beginning. But, the Bison offense, they got the job done. They scored the goals.
Well, about 5'5" Christian Corona scoring a goal off of his head. He got up. That's not big. I'm 5'11", and I have to have a booster seat. So I would imagine what Christian Corona would have to have, and he'd have to be. I wouldn't have to use a booster seat. He would. Hey.
It was what the team has told me was it was almost like surreal. It was like a dream. They said you just saw his tiny body just soar through the air and somehow connect with the header, and then just smash down. It was ridiculous. But also, in addition to Corona scoring, of course, Jack Waters, the captain.
Jack does what Jack does.
He tallied another hat trick. So, surprise.
Oh, all right, Jack.
And then the other goal was scored by a freshman, Corey Ogden. I think that was his first one in the season. So, kind of upsetting that it had to end that way in such a high-scoring loss. But looking forward, they only lost one senior. It was his senior day, Ian Shepard.
Yep.
Sad
to see Ian go, but promising things for the future of the men's soccer program.
As far as just the soccer team goes, I say it a million times, 7 out of the 11 starters freshmen.
Yeah.
So, you've seen all your goals, all your assists this season come from juniors or below, juniors, sophomores, or freshmen. So, I mean, even though they're going to miss Ian for, moral support and, to kind of fire that team up, it's they have a lot of studs returning.
Well, then, on the women's side, the women got the job done 6-0. Brittany Fulbright with the hat trick. I know Julie Slezak added a goal, and Marina Klein added a goal.
Yeah.
They didn't have Heinerman. Heinerman's out with an injury, and so that's your leading scorer, kind of the person, not the captain, but the physical.
Yeah, the presence.
The physical presence on the field was not there.
They try to go through their offense a lot. I mean, Fulbright though, who is the captain, stepped up big
and 3 goals.
Yeah, netted a hat trick. I mean, she finished the year with a career high in both goals and total points. She had 20 total points to lead the team and 9 goals on the season. So, congratulations to Brittany, who, once again, just like the men's team, the women's team, losing 1 senior.
Yeah.
So, I
mean, two seniors. They honored. We have to make a correction from last week. The 2 seniors for the women's soccer team is Bethany Bowers and Brianna Steek. Bethany Bowers has a medical leave.
Yeah.
She didn't finish her senior year of soccer. She's doing placement back home. So she's here, or she was here for senior day. It was very great. It was great to see from head coach Pete Parakakis to have her, and it was good for the team. And you saw kind of 6-0 victory. Obviously, she brought a little bit of spark back to the Lady Bison.
But yeah, so I mean, still, although you're losing, 2 seniors, Bree Steek, she was the backbone of that defense.
Yes.
She was.
And she's played everywhere.
Yeah, she was probably the quickest person on the team, fastest.
Yeah.
She was lightning. And, she was not scared to go into a tackle. I mean,
not
she
at all.
threw her body around.
Even with that big old brace on. She had to. I know she had to stop at the beginning of the season. She wasn't allowed to play in one of the games because she went into a slide tackle during a scrimmage, and she broke her brace. So she missed I think she missed the first game of the season, and that was the joke, is that it wasn't that she couldn't play, is that she didn't have a brace because she broke her last brace.
Yeah, I mean she's fearless, and that's always good to have. So they are going to need to patch a few holes on that team, but once again, young team, didn't have the season I don't think Coach Pete wanted.
No,
but. You still have some promising people. I mean, I think if they have a big offseason, bring in a few people there. I think there's a few positions that they need to kind of polish a little bit and make a little upgrade to. And I think if Pete makes those adjustments, I think they can come back and try to make a statement in the pack.
Well, that being said, I think both the soccer programs look to be kind of back on track.
Yes.
Recruitment-wise, you have the numbers that you want to see. Here's a program that really hasn't fallen off at all in my time here, and we all know I've been here since like the dawn of time. Me and Alexander Campbell actually had a drink at Bubba's last weekend. But Case Western, the Bison traveled to Case Western on Saturday for their final volleyball game of the season, regular season, 3-0 victory there, or 3-1 victory. The Bison will take on W&J tomorrow, November 3rd, which happens to be your birthday. And I got a little gift for you.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, don't you worry.
I hope it's not a pit joke.
It's not a pit joke, I promise. But so if you are watching this before November 3rd, you can catch the Bison volleyball game on BCTV, and that's through Stretch, or if you're in Bethany, I'm sure you can find somewhere. You can go over to the gym. But they will play at 7 against W&J, and then the winner of that game will play at Thomas More on Friday, and then after that we'll bring you that next Monday.
We'll let you know.
Yeah, but AJ, that's volleyball. We got men's soccer. We got women's soccer. We got Jalen. So, well, here's your birthday gift.
Did you get a little hungry?
Well, I found this. I found it, and I just figured you needed a gift.
Well, thank you. Hey, that's greatly appreciated. You're a great co-host.
But we will be back next week, I think, maybe,
yeah.
If they bring us back, I guess.
I hope so, man.
Well,
it's a tough world out there.
Until then, thank you to everybody, Erik Sprowls, the comm department, Jalen Holmes, Lamont, everybody else. Thank you and good.